What's up, guys? This is the Osmo.com Night Shift Podcast. We got a 12-game MLB slate to talk about for Wednesday, September 5th. Bunch to talk about here. Looks like a actually really fun slate, one that I'm excited to play. A lot of great pitching options that Josh and I will talk through, and then Josh and Laffy will talk through afterwards on the process show. So we'll be pushing content out all day. Osmo will have his lineup card article, we'll have the ownership projections, rankings, and all of the usual stuff live before lock with Chris Spags and myself at 6 Eastern. Go to Osmo.com, check out the premium tab, get your membership for NFL season or the rest of MLB season. We'll have NBA and NHL packages on the site as well very soon. Exciting time in sports and DFS and betting, if you like that. But anyways, let's get into it. Skipping the first two games, or the day games, Red Sox, Braves, Royals, Indians, won't be playing that slate. Let's start off with Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. We have Homer Bailey going up against Jameson Taillon. Bailey, not someone I'm looking to use, although I will say he's got 2 out of his last 3 games with a 14+% swinging strike rate. I mean, I don't really know what to do with him. Maybe he's not as terrible as I thought. I don't know that I could get to actually using him here. But certainly someone that's just kind of been my kryptonite lately. I've been stacking against him, been wrong. Used him a couple times, been wrong on that. So the results for me have not been great when deciding on what to do with Homer Bailey, but this is one where I'd like to hear a guy like Adam or Laffy talk about Homer Bailey. And are these plate discipline numbers real or are they fake? But, I mean, I like Gregory Polanco. I like Corey Dickerson against him quite a bit. Those two guys, especially Dickerson for 3,700, he'll be popular in GPPs. Jameson Taillon, 9,900. At first when I saw this price, I was kind of just crossing Taillon off, but he's looked fantastic over his last few starts. The results look great, but the chase rate, he's got 3 out of his last 4 starts with a chase rate of 43% or higher. Same thing, 3 out of his last 4 with a swinging strike rate over 13. So, I don't know, Taillon could be turning corner. Not a perfect strikeout matchup, as it never is against the Reds when Votto's in there, but Taillon, not someone that I'm just crossing off, and I don't want to target bats against him. That nothing's really changing there. All right, let's go to St. Louis and Washington. Miles Mikolas going up against Tanner Roark. There isn't that much for me here in this game. Mikolas we thought was starting on Tuesday. He'll be starting here, apparently, and it's just going to be Harper and Soto. Same thing, he just struggles with hard contact against lefties. And then Roark, someone that I don't really play a lot. I don't play too many hitters against him, especially not righties. He's just kind of annoying enough where he just, for the most part, survives, especially against a righty-heavy lineup. So this one is pretty quick. We can move on to Tampa and Toronto. Tyler Glasnow going up against Aaron Sanchez. Glasnow is up to 9,500 on DK. Sanchez 5,200. Really like Glasnow here. He's striking out 32% of righties. Has yet to have that blow-up start. He's going to get 6 righties here. Gurriel, Grichuk, Kevin Pillar, Russell Martin, Danny Jansen. Jensen? Anyways, that goes to show you how much I know about Toronto catchers. But Devin Travis as well. So a bunch of righties in there for Glasnow. He had a really nice start against Cleveland last time out. He survived in Boston. I mean, just really impressive stuff that we're seeing out of Glasnow. And a lot of that in games where he's been limited as far as pitch count. So he went 79 pitches in 7 innings against Cleveland, struck out 6, only allowed 1 run on a homer. So outside of that one mistake, that was a pretty impressive start. I'm expecting him to mow down this Toronto lineup. So 9,500 seems like a lot, but he can be super, super efficient at times and may not even need to get to 100 pitches to have a successful outing at this price. Sanchez for 5,200. I mean, I'd like to play Sanchez here, but I don't really think I can. He just looks so bad to me. I know some people were on him last time out, but he really disappointed, was not getting chases at all. Nothing's wrong with him as far as velocity. Like, he has decent pitches, but he just has not put it together this year. Tampa has a bunch of lefties in here. Sanchez, highest xFIP against lefties on the slate for anyone. I mean, G-Man Choi is somewhat interesting. Same thing with Kiermaier, but I don't think I'll be on really either side of Sanchez versus the Tampa Bay Bats. Phillies and Marlins, Nick Pivetta going up against Sandy Alcantara. Pivetta, I think, is the interesting talking point here. He is 8,200 on DK outside of home, but getting a lot of righties here. 6 of them, including the pitcher spot, or 6 of them in addition to the pitcher spot, I should say. So it looks like 7 righties. This could be a start where Pivetta goes out and just dominates. Like, he has that kind of upside, and 8,200. I'm willing to find out if there's just some noise to those home road splits that I always talk about. This is a lineup that he should be able to have his way with. The lefties in there, Riddle and Magnarius Sierra. That's definitely not how you say that, but anyways, I do like Pivetta quite a bit here. 28.8% strikeout rate against righties on the season. He's just one of my favorite guys, and when he's priced out at 8,200, makes for a nice pairing with the Glasnow or a Kopech, if that's your thing. We'll get to him in just a second, but a lot of options in the 9 to 10K range on DK tonight. And then Alcantara is, I don't think he's terrible. He does a good job going deep and just not getting blown up, at least at the AAA level. But I really like Hoskins here and Nick Williams and Asdrubal Cabrera. Marlins have a really bad bullpen as well, so that will help if the Phillies are able to knock Alcantara out early. All right, Mets and Dodgers. This is a 7:35 p.m. start time, Eastern, of course. I'm not sure why the Dodgers are playing what is basically a day game for them. But anyways, it's going to be Zach Wheeler against Hyun-Jin Ryu. Wheeler has looked like one of the better pitchers in all of the MLB over the last month or so. Kind of like the same thing with Marquez that we were talking about yesterday. Just looks really, really awesome. And going up against the Dodgers, I know it's tough. It's a really tough matchup, but he's another one where I'm not just crossing him off because it's a tough matchup. I think he is borderline ace material right now. That may be a hot take. It may not. I don't know how people are feeling about Wheeler, but the soft contact is kind of amazing. What he's doing, so over his last 12 starts, one game with a hard contact rate over 25%, which is insane. And he's getting strikeouts. He's going deep. He's throwing 110 pitches every now and then. Like, he is just such a stud right now, and I'm willing to play him at what I expect to be pretty low ownership against the Dodgers. Ryu, also in play for me. The Mets just so bad against lefties, love attacking them with southpaws, and I will be doing it here. So Ryu, not my favorite guy to play. He doesn't go super deep, kind of limited with his pitch count and such, but it's just too good of a matchup to ignore him here. All right, let's go to Angels and Rangers. We have Jaime Barria against Drew Hutchison / Austin Bibbins Dirks. Either way, no interest in the pitching here for me. There's just so many better spots. It's going to be a lot of hitters on both sides for most people. I think I do prefer the Rangers side just because they have so much power, but hard to avoid Trout and Upton and Ohtani especially. Angels finally priced up quite a bit, so they're not just, pick whoever you want, throw them in your lineup kind of thing and get all the stud pitchers as well like we've seen recently. So nice to see them priced up, but the Rangers are not priced up. No one above 4,800. A couple of $4,600 players in their lineup, Mazzara and Chu and Gallo, but you should be able to afford these guys if you're not paying up for Severino. Next game is Twins and Astros. We have Jake Odorizzi going up against Framber Valdez. Odorizzi, really tricky spot for him. Wouldn't be shocked if he survived here, but just a lot of fly balls going into Houston for a team that's now healthy. I mean, Correa, Bregman, Springer, Altuve, I just never want to take pitchers against them that aren't like a Max Scherzer if he's cheap or something like that. Like, I just don't think you need to go to Odorizzi on a 12-game slate. And then Valdez, I know people were on him last time out. I was kind of wary. Wasn't seeing the great swinging strike numbers, the great chases, or really anything that looked solid as far as advanced numbers. But 7,100, I would expect some people to be on him here, and I just don't really see it. There's a bunch of righties here for the Twins. Again, just not getting the plate discipline numbers I would like to see if I want to play him for 7,100. It's not like he's free. So I think I'm probably going to pass on Valdez and the Twins bats. Next game, Tigers and White Sox. We have Jordan Zimmerman against everyone's favorite pitcher, Michael Kopech. Zimmerman, not a guy I'm looking to use here. I think it's a really nice spot for Daniel Palka and Nicky Delmonico for only 3,500. Kopech, someone I'm going to have a ton of. It's going to be him and Glasnow, maybe some Zach Wheeler in this range. I just love this 9 to 10.5K range or whatever Wheeler is, 10.4K range. Just so much talent. Like, could see any of these guys matching Severino, and I think one of these guys is going to be the highest raw point pitcher. That's not that crazy of a take, but there's just so much arm talent with Wheeler and Kopech and Glasnow as well. So Kopech has had some bad luck in terms of rain delays. 2 out of his 3 first MLB starts shortened by rain. So if there's rain here, I'm going to be a little bit wary, but I don't see anything popping up on the radar right now. We're 24 hours out. I mean, this could change. Always tilting to have a pitcher basically waste a start because of nature, but that's what's happened twice to Kopech. This is Detroit. They're striking out over 23% of the time over the last month, actually over the last 2 months, looking at since July 1st. They're just a really, really bad team. WRC plus in the 80 range in that time against righties, actually 78, 140 ISO, 291 on base percentage. Just not a good team. There's no one I'm really scared of as far as guys getting to Kopech here, so I'm all over him. He's 9K. I think he's underpriced, honestly. So let's move it on to Cubs and Brewers. We have Jose Quintana going up against Jhoulys Chacin. Again, not a game that I'm looking at pitchers. Quintana, someone that people will probably use, but he's just not my guy. I think he's kind of been pretty lucky this year, especially against righties. And Lorenzo Cain and Jesus Aguilar and Hernan Perez and Jonathan Scope, Ryan Braun, these guys can all hit lefties. And so I'm not playing Quintana. At the very least, I will have some Brewers full stacks. I always stack against Quintana. People are scared of stacking against him for whatever reason, but I love playing hitters against him. Chacin, just too expensive here at 8K against a really talented Cubs team. The Cubs are super priced up, so I don't think I'll get to them as stacks. But Daniel Murphy is 4,400. He's the one guy I think is at a really good price, as is Chris Bryant, but Chacin is much, much better against righties. All right, let's go to Giants and Rockies, Coors Field. Andrew Suarez going up against Antonio Senzatella. Suarez is, well, it doesn't really matter what Suarez is, but His price is $6,900. Nice price for him there. He's allowing so much hard contact to righties on the season, 44% almost. Just getting squared up all over the place, and he's a much better pitcher at home. Just a completely different guy, home and road. That's telling in his splits. Just reaps the benefits of pitching in AT&T. Now gets the worst park shift you could imagine, going from AT&T to Coors, and going up against Arenado, Story, Blackman, LeMahieu I love here, Matt Holliday, Ian Desmond for $4,500. If Ionetta's in there, I'm going to have so many Rockies. They're going to be probably the chalk stack, but I don't really care. I think it's the best spot for hitting by far. So I'll be eating the chalk on the Rockies here. Senzatella, $5,300. Not using him. Brandon Belt and Brandon Crawford both stand out as really solid plays in GPPs. They're $4,700 and $4,200, so not super expensive either. And then Panic is also $3,700. Whatever you think of him, I mean, $3,700 batting leadoff in Coors at a second base position. You're going to find your way into some of my lineups. All right. Let's go to Yankees and Athletics. Luis Severino going up against Mike Fiers. Severino, 11.9. Kind of looks like a discount for him. It looks like he is back to at least missing bats. Hasn't gone super deep as of late, but coming off a 10 strikeout performance. I have no issue with people using him here, but I just think I could find the same sort of upside that he has in this spot for $2K cheaper. So in some cases, almost $3K cheaper in Kopech. So it's a tough matchup against the A's. They have not been a team I've been targeting with pitchers striking out under 21% since July 1st. Against righties, a 114 WRC plus a 207 ISO. Those numbers are all top 5. So just a pretty scary matchup. You don't think of Oakland as a team that's going to give the opposing pitcher a lot of troubles, especially in this park, but kind of tentatively off of Severino right now. Fiers is $7,500. If he were a little cheaper, I think I would have interest in him. He's a much better pitcher in Oakland, as most of the Oakland pitchers are. And there are a bunch of righties in here. I think just a little bit too expensive for me to want to make a big stand on him. Now, if he's, 1% owned or 2% owned on a big slate, then yeah, I'll have some Fiers. But I'd rather just go cheaper. A guy we'll talk about in the next game that I'm almost ashamed to admit that I'm on. So probably laying off bats here for the most part, besides maybe Aaron Hicks and Stanton, who's under 5K. All right, last game of the night, Baltimore and Seattle. Andrew Cashner going up against Mike Leake, two guys people like targeting against. But I think, I know Leake is going to be somewhat popular on this slate just because he's 6,200. He's going up against Baltimore in a pitcher-friendly park, and I'm right there with the field. I'm expecting to see a pretty high number when I open up the ownership projections tomorrow morning, but I just don't see a lot of other options in his price range that I'm comfortable going to. The one thing about Leake that he does well is he gets a lot of chases, 34% for the season. Like, he has games where he's in 40-45% range, and not a lot of pitchers do that. So I don't think he'll just light the world on fire and go 7 innings and 7 strikeouts, but I really think he's going to have a good chance of going deep here. And that park is obviously very friendly. So 6,200, he's stretched out. Don't have to worry about him getting pulled at 80 pitches, unless he's really, really struggling. But, he's going to give up hits. He's probably going to give up some runs here, but if he throws in a few strikeouts and gets you 6 or 7 innings, which I think is very possible here, then he's done his job for 6,200, and he allows you to get in, whether it's Severino or Kopech or Glasnow or Wheeler, whoever's your favorite guy. He's going to allow you to do a lot in terms of getting bats. Cashner, 5K. I don't think I can go to Cashner here. I mean, there's just almost no strikeout ability here. Like, I would be surprised if he gets more than 2 or 3 strikeouts. He could limit damage. Like I said, pitcher-friendly park, but that's about all I can say for Cashner. And I'll go after him with some Robinson Cano and Nelson Cruz, who's only 4,500. All right, guys, that's going to do it for the night shift. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Tune in to the strategy video with Josh and myself tomorrow, the process show with Josh and Lofty. Then we'll have the From A to B show at 2:30 Eastern with Andrew and Ben. What else am I forgetting here? Live before lock with Chris and myself. And then live before lock at 5 Eastern, I believe Lofty and Adam will be going live. So jam-packed day of content. Hit me up in Slack or on Twitter if you have any questions. My DMs are open. Good luck, guys. I'll see you in the morning.